So my bad about that, home skillets. Something was wrong with my connection. But it's your girl, Astonish Your Figure, coming to y'all tonight. Make sure y'all safe on tonight. And make sure if you are listening to this, go ahead and hit that share button for your girl. And yeah, y'all see the title, 6 different types of courage. And I know we're always displaying courage, right? We always are courageous. Well, we try to be courageous in everything we do. But I wanted to just break it down so we can understand exactly what type of courage you're actually, doing. So, like I said, if you are listening to this, go ahead and hit that share button for your home girl. I sure would appreciate it. I love y'all. Okay, so we're going to get right to it because it is 10:03, and I promised myself that I would be on time. But I was on time, y'all. My live just messed up. That is all. My live is just messed up. So, and I'm trying to get it together, so please be patient. I almost just fell right there. Who seen that? If you seen that, hit that share button. If you seen me almost just fall like one of them. Oops. Y'all know I ain't got it all. Y'all know I'm silly. Well, people that know me know I'm silly. I'm just trying to make sure that it is doing what it needs to do. But we're going to go ahead and move forward, right? So, the 6 different types of courage. Like I said, we all display it at one point. We may display them all at one time. But 6 different types of courage. The first type of courage that usually we do, and we know that we're doing, is physical courage. So physical courage is that courage that you feel when you gotta save someone and you know for a fact that it may cause yourself danger. So that's kids, parents, you go out there and you just go for it because you know you have to, right? Usually you are doing this. You use physical courage when you're trying to save somebody. That's like if you see your child running outside, you're gonna run out there no matter what is going on. You're gonna run, to try to save them. So that's called physical courage, knowing for a fact that you may be physically harmed, but still willing to do that courage and try to save someone, right? Once again, if you are listening to this, go ahead and hit that share button for your home girl. I sure would appreciate it. The next courage is social courage. And that is like public speaking, like socially, actually presenting, giving a presentation, social courage. Knowing for a fact that you may be embarrassed or rejected, but you still have that courage to do what you need to do for yourself and for others. So I remember my first courage was in my undergrad when I had my first presentation, and I was scared I was so scared. I was scared. It was actually, I did a presentation on the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and I killed it. That's why I do what I do now. We display this at times when we need to, if we have to speak in front of anybody, or if you're not a public speaker, you're always trying to gain social courage. That's just the way it is, right? Social courage is sometimes what people, have a hard time with. They don't like speaking in front of people. But this is what I do. I am a public speaker. So what is easy for me may be teeth pulling for somebody else. But at a point in your life, you develop that social courage to go out and talk to people. Even when you're going on a date, that's social courage. Actually meeting someone for the first time. You don't know what it's going to bring. You don't know if you're going to be embarrassed or anything like that. You just do it because that's what you desire to do. So social courage is something that we all are challenged with at a certain time in our life. And, you know, some people's social courage is built up while others are still growing, while others are very low, right? Excuse me, guys. The next type of courage is moral courage. That little dread. See, every time I get on this live, my dreads be looking. I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to keep it together, y'all. Just pray for me. Pray for me. The third one is moral courage, right? So moral courage is standing up for what's right, even when you know you may be shunned or talked about or fired. You know, usually you use moral courage when you're in mainstream. You're standing up for what you believe in, standing up for the good. It's usually humanitarians that go through moral courage. We're doing what's right for the people, what's right for the situation, what's right for the individual or the situation, whichever, or both at the same time. So moral courage is when you're actually standing up for the good for people or for a situation, like bullies. So that's moral courage. You know for a fact it's not right for somebody to be bullied, but you are ready to risk embarrassment, maybe expulsion, maybe being fired or anything. You're willing to take that risk for your moral ethics and values. That's moral courage. It's very risky and it may cause conflict, but at the end of the day, your morals are more important than the risks that may be as an outcome, right? The fourth one is emotional courage. And I actually displayed a little bit of this today on the phone with someone. Actually following your heart and accepting your emotions where they are, whether they're uncomfortable or comfortable. That's emotional courage. Standing in that emotion and feeling that emotion and letting it pass through, because that's what it's going to do. It's just going to pass through. And when I made the call, I was a little nervous, embarrassed, because I didn't know if I was going to have the right information. When I made the call and asked about the information, then, you know, it just went away. You know, the emotions after I got the information, it just went away. So emotional courage it hinders a lot of us because we have something called the ego, right? That ego is a barge. That ego gets in the way sometimes, right? So emotional courage can be challenging, especially when your ego is bigger than the whole United States of America. So with that being said, practice emotional courage, because that can sometimes mend relationships. That can sometimes let a person know exactly how you feel, whether it be a spouse or a friend. Emotional courage it needs to be increased in today's society, which may allow other people to understand exactly where you're coming from. A lot of people are not willing to take that risk to be vulnerable, because in any courage, you have to have vulnerability, right? Vulnerability is inevitable in courage. You have to be vulnerable in order to be courageous. Let me say that one more time. You have to be vulnerable in order to be courageous. So emotional courage, like I said, will allow a person to be vulnerable, but still have the courage to say what's on their mind, say the feelings, and go forward with it. If y'all agree with that, go ahead and hit that share button for your girl. The fifth courage is intelligent courage. And intelligent courage is when you're willing to put what you've learned to the side to learn more things, regardless of what the information may be. So that's understanding other people's viewpoint, understanding other types of information that maybe you didn't get when you were younger, or, you know, an adolescent or what have you. But being willing to see other people's viewpoint, despite if it may be in your agreement or not. That's courageous. You're allowing information to get to you or enter into your thoughts, and, you know, picking it apart, whatever you have to do to pick it apart so you can obtain more information. So that's intelligent courage. Intelligent courage. And once again, you have to be vulnerable to obtain that. So you can't be ego driven and be like, no, I don't want to hear nothing they got to say, because I already know that the world is flat, or I already know that the world is round. They lying. That's not very courageous of you, due to the fact that you're not even allowing information to be given to you without having that block up. So you're not being vulnerable, so you can't be courageous, right? And the sixth type of courage is spiritual. And spiritual courage is when you are able to obtain information spiritually and give it a second thought instead of just blocking it out. A lot of people, including myself, is on what we call a spiritual journey. And we're all being spiritually courageous at this time, trying to find out what is going on. You know, trying to figure out, trying to heighten our knowledge of what we thought was what we thought. So we're trying to figure out more things about us as people, us as humanity. And sometimes this may cause us to feel threatened by, you know, what we already know. Sometimes I try to say something to certain people. No. They just block it. Well, they're not being vulnerable, because once again, you have to be vulnerable before you're courageous, right? You have to be vulnerable before you're courageous. So, being able to be having spiritual courage is able to obtain knowledge of the spirit, and being able to use all of the information that comes to you and not just push it back because of what you learned when you were younger, right? So those are the 6 types of courage. Once again, physical, right? Moral, emotional, intelligent, physical, social, moral, emotional, intelligent, and spiritual. Now, we all practice these things at one point in our life. And sometimes, like I said, we practice them all at one time. It just depends on how vulnerable you are to see how courageous you're going to be in each one of them. So when they say you're just stuck in your ways, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to be stuck in your ways. Because when you're stuck in your ways, you're not courageous. And when you're stuck in your ways, you're never able to grow as an individual. Older people are usually stuck in their ways, right? And we try to teach, like, Grandma, remember when? You're like, no, that's not what is going on. She is stuck in her ways, which is not courageous of her. She's not vulnerable. She doesn't want to be. And if she's a grandma and she's been on this earth for 80 to 90 years, then I can't say nothing. I just say, ma'am, and keep it moving. Ma'am, you know, you don't want to touch that. That's fire. Grandma talking. It's fire. Don't talk back. to grandma, because she's gonna get you. At least my grandma would. Throw something at you. Catherine. Who know Catherine? Catherine, yeah, she'll throw something at you. And Mildred. Mildred will throw something at you too. But those are individuals that set in their ways. But as a people right now, I think everyone is being courageous in their physical, social, moral, intelligent, spiritual, and social. I think everybody is really tapping into how to be more courageous in everything that they're doing. That means that everybody is vulnerable right now. People are vulnerable. And that's okay to be vulnerable. We think vulnerability is a bad thing, and it's not. Vulnerability is only a bad thing is when you're vulnerable is with someone that has the main objective to take advantage of that vulnerability. That's when you have to put the discernment on. Or that's when you have to know who you're around. But vulnerability is not a bad thing. Vulnerability allows you to be courageous. And I can't even say it anymore. So I really wanted, like I said, I really wanted to bring these 6 different types of courage to you guys so you could know where you need to heighten yourself at and where you're kind of flowing through like the water. So I love you guys. I love you guys. And I appreciate all the support that you guys give me on Astonishing Figure. If you do have a Astonishing Figure that you would like to nominate, hit me up on my page or email me at astonishingfigures1955@gmail.com and I will get back with you. But there's always Astonishing Figures because they're going through the 6 parts of being courageous, right? And share this video because somebody may need to know where they need to heighten their courage at and where they are flowing like rivers in their courage. So once again, I love you guys. I love you guys. Make sure you like and share Astonishing Figures page, and I will see you guys on next Saturday. I may go live throughout the week. You never know. I might have something to say. You never know. But be well, and I will see y'all on next week. Peace.